Welcome to day 10 of our 30-day series. Today, we're diving into something we all face at one point or another: the fear of being alone. Whether it's a temporary isolation or something more prolonged, solitude can be intimidating. But what if instead of fearing it, we learn to embrace it? Let's face it, we live in a world that often glorifies constant connection. Social media, endless notifications, the buzz of messages, all of this has made us dependent on the presence, or at least the awareness, of others. Yet, when we strip it all away, we're left with ourselves. And for many, that's a scary thought. Being alone isn't always the same as being lonely. Loneliness is the emotional response to solitude, that feeling of emptiness, of wanting connection, but not having it. On the other hand, solitude is simply the physical state of being by yourself. It can be peaceful or unsettling, depending on how we approach it. But why does solitude feel so daunting? Why does the absence of others often make us anxious? The fear of being alone often stems from our primal instincts. We're social creatures by nature, and for most of human history, survival meant sticking together in groups. To be alone was dangerous. Fast forward to today, and even though the threat of being physically harmed while alone is greatly diminished, our brains still equate isolation with risk. But here is the truth: solitude isn't something to fear. In fact, it's a powerful tool for personal growth, reflection, and healing. When we're alone, we have the chance to truly connect with ourselves, to listen to our own thoughts, understand our emotions, and explore what really matters to us. The problem arises when we try to fill every moment of solitude with distractions, like endless scrolling, binge watching, or mindlessly staying busy. Instead of sitting with our thoughts, we drown them out. But what if we learn to sit in that silence? What if we use those moments alone to become more comfortable with who we are? Surviving solitude isn't just about being okay with silence, it's about thriving in it. So, how can we learn to embrace solitude instead of fearing it? First, start small. If the idea of spending an entire evening alone feels overwhelming, begin with shorter moments of solitude. Take 10 or 15 minutes each day to sit in stillness. Reflect, journal, listen to your thoughts without judgment. Next, change your mindset. Instead of viewing solitude as a punishment or something to be feared, think of it as an opportunity to recharge, reflect, and grow. It's in solitude that we often find clarity, creativity, and peace. Another step is to shift your focus. Instead of worrying about the absence of others, try focusing on being present with yourself. Notice the small details around you: the sound of the wind, the feeling of your breath, or the texture of the ground beneath your feet. These moments, when fully embraced, can become profoundly grounding. Finally, challenge yourself to find joy in your own company. Engage in activities that make you happy, not because someone else enjoys them, but because they resonate with you personally. Read that book you've always wanted to, take up a hobby, or simply enjoy a quiet cup of coffee. Solitude doesn't have to feel empty. It can be a space of richness, creativity, and deep personal insight. When we remove the noise and the pressure to always be connected, we open ourselves up to discovering what's truly important to us. It's important to note, however, that there's a balance to be found. While solitude can be beautiful and necessary, long-term isolation without meaningful connection can lead to loneliness and emotional distress. That's why it's essential to check in with yourself and reach out when needed. Finding that balance between time alone and time with others is key to a healthy, fulfilling life. Remember, solitude isn't the enemy. It's not something to avoid, but something to understand. The fear of being alone can lose its grip when we learn to sit with ourselves, face our thoughts, and discover that we are enough. So, as you move forward, challenge yourself to embrace those moments of solitude. Instead of seeking distractions, dive into the stillness and listen. You might be surprised at what you find. Thank you for joining me on day 10 of this 30-day journey. Tomorrow, we'll explore the importance of self-compassion and how to be kinder to ourselves. Until then, embrace the quiet and remember you're never truly alone when you learn to enjoy your own company.